In the NFL, you either get better or you get worse. You never stay the same, and that applies to teams as well as players. And today we're going to take a look at the Texans offense and see all the changes that they've made and, determine whether they got better or they got worse. I'm going to go by position, so start off with the most important one, the quarterback position. Oh, and by the way, I'm comparing it to what was there majority of the time last year. For example, last season at the corner position, the starter week 1 was Kevin Johnson, but Kevin Johnson wasn't the guy that was there the whole season. Obviously, the guy that was taking the cornerback 2 snaps most of the time was Kareem Jackson late into the season, and Sharice Wright towards the middle. So we're going to be comparing it to that, not what it was week 1, because what it was week 1 doesn't matter at all. That's pretty much irrelevant. We're comparing it to how it was majority of the season. So let's start off with the quarterback. The Texans, the only major change in the quarterback room was Brandon Weeden. He's no longer here. They replaced him with AJ McCarron, and honestly, I could care less about this move. Honestly, if Deshaun goes down, the season's over regardless. I don't care if we have AJ McCarron or Brandon Weeden as a backup. The season's over. So, don't really care much about that move, but the quarterback position did definitely improve, or will definitely improve, based on this alone. Deshaun Watson will be going into year 3. Last season, around this time, Deshaun Watson was rehabbing instead of working on his craft. This season, obviously, he can improve his game and do more stuff. And then you also have the addition of Carl Smith, the quarterback's coach from Seattle. And I think he's a huge upgrade over, Sean Ryan. So I do think the quarterback position has improved, and it's just pretty much on Deshaun Watson actually being able to have an actual offseason and the addition of Carl Smith. Again, like I said, don't really care much about the AJ McCarron move. Don't really think it makes much of a difference. So, yeah, regardless, if Deshaun were to go down last year, this year, the season would have been over anyway, so don't really care about a backup quarterback. Now we're moving on to the running back position. Texans didn't really make any significant changes to the running back position. I'd even say I'm not comfortable with the running back group. However, for a majority of the season last year, Lamar Miller was running back 1 and Alfred Blue was running back 2. This upcoming season, Lamar Miller will be running back 1 and Foreman will be running back 2. And I am more comfortable with Foreman and Miller as a tandem rather than Miller and Blue. I think it's an upgrade, even though I haven't really been fair to Foreman, if I'm being honest. I've been one of his biggest doubters. I'm pretty sure I've said it in a previous video before. But I am fully on board on the Foreman hype train. I'm actually hyped for Foreman again. So, maybe Foreman can do some things. I can see it happening. But nonetheless, I'm still not entirely happy with the running back group. However, they did get better due to Foreman coming back. And if you've seen his Instagram workouts, he's really working hard. So I'm really pleased where Foreman's at right now. So I'd consider that an upgrade. Then we have the fullback position. This was clearly an upgrade because obviously we didn't have a fullback last year. But not only that, Cullen Gillespie is a grinder. You can hand him the ball off in a 4th and 1 situation, 3rd and goal situation right there. You can hand it off to him, and he's the type of guy who will grind out those yards for you. And also, it's an extra blocker in the red zone. And if you go back to last season, we struggled in the red zone. Whether it was, trying to run the ball in, punch it in, we couldn't do it. try to throw it in. We really couldn't do it. I mean, there was some occasions where we did, throw it up to Hopkins, he'd catch it, or DT would beat someone, or Jordan Thomas would beat someone. But other than that, we struggled in the red zone, and I think having a fullback can really help out the red zone offense. So obviously, I consider that an upgrade as well. Then you got the tight end position. You got Kahali Waring, upgrade over Ryan Griffin. Ryan Griffin is bad. Thankfully, he'll be gone here soon enough, come early September when the roster cuts go from 90 to 53. Waring, like I said, he's a red zone threat. Another weapon for Deshaun in the red zone to help improve that red zone offense. Of course, you got Jordan Thomas entering year 2 as well. He showed a lot of promise year 1. And I fully expect him to take a huge step forward here in year 2. Because O'Brien has said multiple times that the tight end position is the second hardest position to learn on this offense after quarterback. Most of that being because the tight end has to learn all the routes and all that of a receiver. And they also have to learn the blocking schemes and assignments as if they were an offensive lineman. So I think Jordan Thomas not having to worry about much of the mental part of the game this season is really going to help him really just go out there and play instead of thinking so much. So there's that. I also think Darren Fells will be a huge help to the Texans again in the red zone. He could be a sneaky red zone threat, or you could just simply use him as a blocker, either an extra pass blocker or a run blocker. And I think the Texans could benefit from that because, again, last year, red zone offense was not good. In between the 20s, the Texans were able to move the ball with ease, and I'm pretty sure you guys saw that. But once they got, closer to the end zone, they struggled, and bringing in some guys that can help Deshaun Watson in that area is really going to help elevate this Texans offense, help them take the next step. Now, of course, you got Jordan Akins. I still don't know how I feel about Jordan Akins. He did show some small flashes, but the guy's like 26 or 27. I mean, can you really get better? I don't know. Not really going to say anything about him because I honestly do not know about him. But I will say this. At least he won't be dealing as much with learning the offense because he's already going to be going into year 2. So maybe he's going to be able to contribute a little bit more. But I do like Jordan Thomas better than Akins, and I also like Kahali Waring better than Akins, and I also like Darren Fells better than Akins. But I do think 4 tight ends make the team, so there is that. Now, the wide receiver group, I think it's better due to health alone. You got a healthy DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins wasn't healthy at the end of the year. You got Fuller coming back healthy. You got Kiki coming back healthy. But that's just how it's going to be week 1, Like, how long is it going to last this way, Like, how long until Will Fuller goes down? Because I think with Will Fuller, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's not if Fuller gets hurt, it's when Fuller gets hurt. I'm not saying Fuller's going to break his neck and miss 12 games. I'm saying Fuller is probably going to miss, at least 4 games, I'm expecting. What did the Texans do to, for Fuller insurance? They didn't do much. They didn't do anything at all, actually. So that is a concern for me, wide receiver depth. But I could see it being slightly better, not only on health alone, but maybe Vincent Smith, undrafted rookie from last year, maybe he makes a slight year 2 jump to where, he knows the plays. Because if you recall in that playoff game against the Colts, dude didn't know where to line up. So hopefully he at least knows how to line up, where to line up. Because if you guys saw that Eagles game, that beautiful pass Deshaun Watson threw to him in the end zone, got his feet in, he does have some potential, and he can be some Fuller insurance, but he has to get everything down first. Like, what good is he if he can't get the mental part of the game down? So hopefully he's able to get the mental part of the game down, but still, nonetheless, not happy with the lack of moves made for the wide receiver position. We need a depth, and instead we got 2 undrafted guys who I honestly don't think are really going to make the team. So it's pretty much on Vincent Smith, but yes, technically the wide receiver group is better based on health alone, and that's it. Just health. Maybe Vincent Smith can make a jump, but I'm not going to guarantee anything because the fact that he was, 18 weeks into the season, he had been with the Texans all offseason, and he still didn't know where to line up. Yeah, that's a huge red flag for me, so, maybe he proves me wrong, but for the most part, ain't really betting on it, but the wide receiver group is better due to health reasons alone, but I don't think it's going to be better for long if the Texans don't go out and trade for someone, or if someone doesn't cut a player and the Texans don't pick him up, then I expect next season the wide receiver group to be much of the same as it was last season, but maybe slightly better because Fuller probably won't miss 8 games again, and Kiki won't miss 12 games like he did last year. So health alone better, but not happy. Now O-line, pretty sure the position all you guys have been waiting for. See, the thing is, Mike Devlin is still the coach. One of the biggest gripes I've had with the Texans this offseason was keeping Mike Devlin. I just think the Texans are relying way too much on Devlin. They're relying on Devlin to help Martinez Rankin make a year 2 jump. They're relying on Devlin to develop Titus Howard and Max Sharping, 2 rookies. I mean, they're better based on talent alone, but you also can't really say they're better because you just don't know with Mike Devlin. But then you also can't say they're worse because if you look at last year, then yeah, obviously. But I will say this season the O-line will have competition. Last year, they didn't. See, last year, as soon as, training camp or OTAs kicked off, everyone knew who the starters were. Julian Davenport was a left tackle, there was no competition there. Senio Kelemeti was a left guard, no competition there. Nick Martin was a center, no competition there. Zach Fulton was a right guard, no competition there. And Seantrell Henderson was a right tackle, also no competition there. They were all penciled in starters, and at least this year, there's going to be competition for 3 spots. Left tackle, it'll be Julian Davenport versus Matt Khalil versus Titus Howard. Left guard, Senio Kelemeti versus Martinez Rankin. And right tackle, Seantrell Henderson versus Titus Howard versus Max Sharping. So I will say that at least this year there's competition, so maybe the O-line will be slightly better. But again, I don't trust Mike Devlin. I just do not trust him. Maybe he proves me wrong, but it's kind of hard to trust Mike Devlin. Again, like I said, based on competition, based on talent alone, pure talent, the O-line should be better, but it's hard to trust Mike Devlin. Now, overall, though, I think the offense will be better next season based on health. You have Kiki, you have Fuller coming back, you have D-Hop being 100% again, and you have Deshaun Watson not being rusty with the torn ACL early on. They're going to be better because of that. And also Foreman. They're going to be better in the red zone because they added another weapon in Waring, and also Gillespie, who can help them punch it in, and Darren Fells, who can also help block there in the red zone, or, sneak out for a pass every now and then and, get a touchdown. And also you have the Deshaun Watson taking a huge jump in year 3, which I expect Deshaun Watson to take a huge jump. I think the offense will improve a lot just based on Watson alone. I think Watson's going to elevate this offense to another level. Also, I think Kiki and Jordan Thomas going into year 2 is really going to help the Texans offense take another step forward. However, we got the O-line. Mike Devlin hasn't shown the ability to develop talent ever, so there is that. So you just don't know with the O-line. So I think this offense will be better, but I don't think this offense will reach its full potential with Mike Devlin being the O-line coach. I think if the Texans would have fired Mike Devlin and hired in another guy, I think the sky would be the limit for this Texans offense. But as long as Mike Devlin is still there, this O-line will continue to hold this offense back every now and then. Because, yes, Titus Howard, Martinez Rankin, Max Sharping, they all have potential, but can Mike Devlin really take them and help them reach their full potential? I highly doubt it. I just think Bill O'Brien is relying way too much on Mike Devlin. And it's going to show next season, man. It's going to show. There will be games where the Texans offense just explodes due to, Deshaun, DeAndre, Fuller, Kiki, the tight ends. And there will be games where the offense is stopped because of the O-line, because of Mike Devlin's incompetence. And it's not going to happen every week. It's not, because there is some teams that just don't have the pass rush to do that. Teams like the Falcons, the Panthers, the Chiefs, the Raiders, Ravens, Patriots, Buccaneers, teams that we play this season aren't going to have the pass rush to truly expose the Texans' offensive line. But then you also got teams like the Jaguars, the Chargers, the Broncos, who can definitely make life difficult for Deshaun Watson. So I think Mike Devlin's going to hold this offense back from being truly special. Is the offense going to be better than last year? Yes, it's better than last year. Anyone who says it isn't better than last year is lying to themselves. But there's also some problems on this offense. Mike Devlin being the biggest problem of them all. The other two problems I see: lack of wide receiver depth and running back depth. That can really hurt the Texans. Why? Again, Fuller gets hurt, what happens? Offense takes a huge step back. What if Lamar Miller gets hurt? It happened last year. He missed 1 or 2 games. Then it's just Foreman by himself. Can Foreman handle everything by himself? I don't know. Those are questions you shouldn't really have to be asking yourself. Questions that you could have easily avoided by going out and getting wide receiver depth and running back depth and firing Mike Devlin. Things could have been so much better moving forward had they just fired Mike Devlin, had they went and signed a running back and drafted a wide receiver, say in the 7th round, or maybe even signed a wide receiver. But there is still time, because again, like I said earlier in this video, teams have to cut their roster from 90 to 53 early September. So there's a chance a good player gets cut and the Texans pick him up. But as of right now, the biggest issues for this Texans offense is Mike Devlin, wide receiver and running back depth. But other than that, this team offensively has improved, and I think most of that is going to be because of Deshaun. Because of young players taking steps forward. So, yeah, I do think this offense is better. Not where I would like it to be at, but still better than last year. So there is that, you know. Progress is always good, so yeah. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.